Welcome to lesson 1.2. Today we're going to discuss how a continuum works, understand 4 different skill continua, and then be able to identify where skills might be within the continuum. So firstly, just what is a continuum? Continua is just the plural of continuum and is just a scale from one extreme to another. So for example, you could have something in the middle. You could have a skill on any point of this line. Okay, so bear that in mind. It doesn't have to be one end or the other. It can be anywhere. It can be a mix of the two, or leaning to one or the other. So we're just going to discuss 4 different types now. The first type is the skill difficulty continuum. So this might be on one end of the scale, a very basic skill, straightforward skill, and on the other end of the scale, a very complicated, technically difficult skill. Okay, so we're just going to show examples here. Running is a very basic skill, it doesn't need much thought or accuracy or timing. Then in the middle, you might have passing a ball that takes a little bit more technique. And then on the other end of the scale, you have a triple somersault with a twist. With the muscular involvement continuum, you have on one side a very fine, precise, small movement, and on the other side you have a whole body gross movement. Okay, so very fine and gross. We're going to talk about the examples here. So a dart throw only needs from your elbow to your fingertips. In the middle, you have a set in volleyball. It's mainly the upper body working. The lower body doesn't really do much. And then running is a whole body gross, big movement skill that you need all muscles involved. The environment continuum, so how influenced is the skill on external factors? So how predictable or unpredictable is it? So unpredictable on one end, you have a very open skill, and then predictable on the other hand, you have a very closed skill. So a rebound in basketball is extremely unpredictable. It is very open and depends on the environment around you, defenders, how hard it's going to bounce, when do you have to jump. You have a lot of things to think about. In the middle, you have something that's in between an open and a closed skill. At the beginning, it's a very open skill. It depends on how you're going to dodge your opponent. But then when you get tagged, it is a closed because it's predictable and you know what to do. You just put the ball through your legs. So it is firstly an open skill, then a closed skill. And then a completely closed skill in a predictable environment is a discus throw from beginning to end. Then you have a pacing continuum. So what about the athlete's surroundings? So who starts this? Is it externally paced or is it self-paced? So an example that we're going to talk about, marking a player, is completely dependent on the athlete's surroundings. You are following a player that you need to react to. In the middle, you might have throw in. So yes, you can do it in your own time, but it also depends on your players and your teammates moving for you. And then a self-paced, you start your own golf shot when you are ready. So that's completely self-paced. So we're just going to test ourselves here with 3 questions. Can you remember, or just to help you, a definition that best describes a continuum? So a scale that can grade something from one extreme to another. Question 2. A triple jumper gets to decide when to start their performance. What skill is this? So this is called what? What continuum does that fall into? Have a little think. It might fall into 2 different types. Okay, well done. It is a self-paced skill. But also, if you said it is a closed skill. Okay, so they started in their own time, and it is also quite predictable environment. It doesn't really depend on or get impacted by the environment around. And question 3, explain what type of a skill a golf swing is. Okay, so this goes into a little bit more detail. Firstly, based on our last lesson, it's a psychomotor skill where you need to coordinate your body and your mind to be able to accurately connect with the ball. Secondly, it can be classed as a complex skill that requires a lot of coordination and movement. And then as well as that, a self-paced skill that can be taken in an athlete's own time. Okay, a self-paced and closed skill are not always linked because the environment around that golfer could be quite unpredictable. It could be very windy. It could be, the ball could be up on a hill, this, that, and the other. So it's not necessarily self-paced and closed are not necessarily linked together all the time. Okay, so we discussed how continuum works. We talked about 4 different skill continua, and then hopefully we're now able to identify where skills might be placed on each of those continuum. Next topic will be stages of a skill and types of feedback.
If you like this video, you'll love our notes. You can get some for free in the link in the description of this video.